Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of How to Mod Arc. Today we're going to be looking at adding structure variants, so like the Obsidian Walls mod, so just something like that. So the first thing that we're going to do, which I have actually already done that here, is you're going to make a new folder. So click on your main folder, new, hit new folder, and it's called ladder because I'm going to make a ladder now. And I created 4 subfolders inside of it, one for each color of each of the walls. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the second content browser here, move it over, go into the game, and we're just going to look for metal ladder, like so. Alright, so we're going to need the structure. We're going to export that icon so we can leave it there. The actual, or the primal item structure, the actual structure, and the engram. So we're just going to take these over and copy them into the main folder. Copy here. And then we're going to take the icon, because we're going to create an icon for our structure, and we're going to export it out. And what I did was I have an arc folder that I keep all my arc stuff in. And I created an icons folder, and here is all of the icons that I've made. And I'm create a folder for ladder to kind of keep them all separate. And we're just going to leave it as metal, and we're going to save it. So it's exported out now. So now we can close the second content browser. And we need to go ahead and start renaming these. So just name them something simple. So this one here is OB for Obsidian. And we'll do the same to the other 3. Ladder underscore OB. And this guy. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and make the icon. I always like to start there. So we'll go ahead and grab this, and we will open the icon. Possibly. There it goes. Alright, so now I have to go to my arc folder. Icons, ladder, and open this up. Now for these icons I usually do something pretty simple. Usually I just take the layers, or not the layer, the colors, and I change the brightness and contrast here. Bring the brightness down, contrast up, brightness down a little more. Alright, gives it kind of a little black look. And then for the selection, I open up my tools, rectangle selector, and boom. Just give it, you know what, I'm probably going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and do that. And then usually all I do is I just pick up a paintbrush, and I find that easiest. I guess I could bucket fill it. Nah, doesn't matter. And I need to open up my toolbox. Go into hue, and we'll go with green first. And there's green. See, that's why I like the paintbrush, because paintbrush makes sure you get everything in there. Just creates a nice little box. So now we just go into hue, export as, and then we wait a year and a half, and we change this to OB, and we just add green to it, and export. Now you change the color again, blue, repeat, and 2 more times, red, export, change you to red, last but not least, white. Beautiful. Now we can export this one. In the last one, I usually just take away the color name, or for the white at least. I usually name red, green, blue, and then white I leave the same. I kind of count that as just my default. So now we can export. Alright, and we're done with GIMP. Don't care about saving the changes. Alright, so now we're back in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to import the icons first. New folder. OC for obsidian crystal and ladder. Okay. Go down to the folder. Import. And we can just grab all of them and import. Beautiful. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and save here. Look at that, 6 minutes in and all we've done is made icons. Yeah, it's going good. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our Ingram entry. This is very hard to do on one monitor. It's very weird. I usually just go ahead and remove the requirements. I don't really care that much if players have those. So change the blueprint entry to your structure. You can go ahead and change these to whatever you need them to be. And we do not want to give, if you want the player to be able to craft them in their inventory, you will click this. But since my crafting is inside of its own crafting structure, I do not check this. So that's all good. Now we can compile and save it. Close out. So after I do the Ingram, I usually go into the primal item structure. And there's a few things that we're going to have to change in here. So the first thing will be the name. So I'm going to go with obsidian ladder. And we'll just make this a simple obsidian ladder. Simple obsidian ladder. We can go ahead and maximize this for now. So that looks good. So go ahead and scroll down some more. Change the crafting requirements. So that's metal ingots. So let's go ahead and let's just make it 10 crystal. Maybe. There we go. 10 crystal. 5 obsidian. And you know what, that's good. Usually I put some cementing paste in there, but since the normal metal ladder doesn't use it, I won't. So this is the point where I have to decide which ladder I'm going to put it in first. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this first one here, it's going to be the white. So we need to change all of these to the ladder white. Okay, that works. Alright, so... oh, that's why it didn't work, because white's not on the end there. Alright, so there's our structure with the white bar. So scroll down a little bit more, and the structure to build will be our ladder OB, or obsidian, and the crafting requires inventory component. Mine's gonna take the what did I call it? Obsidian smithy, maybe? What was it? Obsidian station. Wow, blanked for a second there. Alright, so obsidian station. Scroll down some more, make sure you got everything. So that all looks good. I don't really want to change anything here. Item quantity's fine. That's what I want. You're good there. Don't care about the item stats. Alright, so we can go ahead and move on to the next, which is the actual structure. So the static mesh, we're going to need to find that. So click on that, the find this little thing here allows you to find it in your content browser. So it is the static mesh of stairs. So then what we do is we go into the ladder here and we move it into our main folder and hit copy. And we need to come down here and I'm just going to simply put an OB at the end. Simple. And we will reference you. Go ahead and open that up. And we need to change this right here, which is the texture, to whatever texture you're using. So my texture is the right here, OC wall, which I named it wall before I actually came up with what it was going to be. So I think that looks good. I like the way it looks. It looks a little bit off, but she'll work. Alright, so we can go ahead and save that. And make sure that's selected, and boom. It's already put in there. Okay. So step 1, done. Step 2 is to scroll down to the primal item structure metal ladder. And we wait for it to load all of the items inside of there. And we type in OB ladder. And go ahead and keep scrolling down now. We don't want it to return any damage. This is what we need to change right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and hit create destructible mesh. So now you can see our ladder here. It's got a nice little black background. We can go ahead and hit fracture mesh. So it's going to take a second, and now our mesh is fractured, and you can check to see that everything explodes correctly, and it does. So we'll save it, and we will reference it inside of, I don't care, yes, there. So OB mesh DM. DM just stands for destructible mesh, and we need to change this here to obsidian, like so. And the health, we're going to double it. So we're going to make it 6.250. 6.25k is what I should have said. Oh, and we need to save it. This thing is so stupid. Compile. Save. And that should be it for that part. Oh, there was one thing I did forget, which is the structure settings right here. I have my own structure settings for it. If I can remember exactly where I put that, at least. I think it's in the main folder. Maybe not. It's got to be in the walls then. There it is. So the structure settings. And now what this structure setting here is it just simply modifies the damage of explosions to it to be weaker than what metal walls get. So they're harder to blow up, which is what we want. We want them to be a little bit stronger than metal. So now that that's done, we can go back into our ladder, save it. Make sure you save frequently because, well, especially when you're testing things out, a lot of things crash. And if you don't save, then you lose everything you've done, which you just don't want. Alright, so now that we got everything here highlighted, actually we're going to leave the stairs out, or the DM out, because we're just going to go ahead and use the DM from the walls. So we copy blue, copy green, copy red, and we simply move for white. And all you have to do here is now we go to the blue, rename them. So I usually just go underscore blue. So now I can hit Control C after I've highlighted it and copied. Change them all to blue. Beautiful. And now we simply reference everything in here the same exact way. So I'm sure you guys know by this point how to do all of this. So I'm probably going to go ahead and pause the video, and I will come back whenever I get to a point that you all need to see what I'm doing. One thing that I did forget to mention was one of the problems that people face a lot is they forget to change under the ladders, the actual structure here, not the primal item structure. They forget to change the consumes primal item to the new item. One way you can tell if you did this is if you have a structure and you use the item, like the actual item that's in your inventory, and it shows the green outline of the items but it can't place. This could be one of the causes. Or you could have forgot to reference it in your structures to place, which we will go over in just a minute. And I already realized I made a mistake. Alright, so whenever I was doing the blue one, I realized that in my primal item structure, if you scroll down to default folder paths, this will be where if the player has the folders on their engrams or inside of the workstation they didn't click show all, this will be the path to the item. And so what needs to be changed is the metal needs to be obsidian now. And I always, since I have 4 of each item, I go ahead and throw in ladders. I throw it in a separate folder. That way people can see all of the colors in one spot and there's not 50 something items all in one area. Alright, we're back. So what I did was I copied them into the folders, changed their names, and then referenced the new items. So engram entry got referenced to blue there. The ladder will be blue. Reference the new static mesh, even though you could have just used a regular static mesh, and never mind. Anyway. I didn't have to change the crystal obsidian because it was the same as the white one, which I originally made. This references the new blue. I use the same DM, so it's going to have the destructible mesh, or the mesh whenever you destroy it, as the white one. So the lights on it are just going to turn white. Not that big of a deal to me. Trying to make sure I showed you everything in that one. Yep. Okay, and then primal item, I changed the icon over to blue. And the structure to place. There we go. I knew I forgot it in one of them. I just didn't know which one. Alright. And now that references the blue. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to come over here like so. going to make a... Actually, I think I have it in one of these. Yeah, see. Alright, so the Super Smithy, the storage box large test. If you open this, you go into components, inventory, and you scroll down to the default inventory items. You'll see I put a couple of the items in there. And so what I'm going to do is place the stuff to make... No, I don't want to place stuff to make because that would take forever. You know, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go ahead and play from here. So what I'm going to do is go back into the Obsidian Walls mod. You'll scroll down to the Primal Game Data. And now we need to add the new Ingram entries and the new structures to place. So the additional Ingram blueprint. You don't want to mess with this one. You want the additional one. And we're going to need to add 4 more. So 4. And we need to reference all 4 of the Ingrams. So I will go into the ladders, and I'm going to click on the main folder, and I'm just going to search for entry and start from top. Place all 4 of these in there, just like so. Save it. And then we need to go down to the structures to place, additional structures to place. So like so, the additional structures to place. And add 4 more of those. Do the same thing except for we need the structure, not the primal item structure, the actual structure, which can be kind of confusing to some people. I mean, hell, it confused me at first too, so I can't say I'm above everyone. So compile and save it. And now we have to go to the little smithy here, or the obsidian station, which is the thing that I used for my crafting. So I don't remember if I changed this, or if I changed the one inside of it. I'll have to check. I think I changed the one inside because that only has 24. So open up the actual blueprint, go to the components, inventory, and yep, okay. So in the actual structure, inside of its inventory, you'll see the default inventory items. So if you add 4 of them, then we can go to the primal item structure on the ladders, and we need to add all 4 of these. 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. Now before you leave this station, you will also need to go to the default Ingrams, add 4 more of these, and you need to change its values to 1. 1 means it's an Ingram, 0 means it's an item. So if you want something to be an Ingram inside of your inventory, it needs to be set to 1. If you want it to be the item itself, then it needs to be set to 0, just like so. So these are all 56 items there, Ingrams, so all of these are 0s. And now we should be able to test it, I hope, if everything went right. So let's go ahead and play from here. See what happens. Hopefully the game doesn't crash. Alright, that's good. Don't know exactly what happened to that guy over there. You alright, buddy? Hey. this up. Oh, wow. I guess I can go ahead and give myself Ingrams. So, oh no. I bet you I forgot to. You know what? It may not matter. I don't think so. Alright, so as you can see, here they are. So there's red, green, blue, and white. If we view our Ingrams inside of our player, there they are. Which, by the way, there is a lot of Ingrams in this mod. Too many. Way too many. Who are you? Oh, Mesiosaur. Or Mesiosaur. Mosasaur. Alright, so now we need to test it and make sure that they work. So I'm going to go ahead and drop all items. And since it's just crystal and obsidian, I'm just going to give resource. Because I know crystal is 78, but I forgot what obsidian is. And I think I only need 200. But just give myself a little extra just in case. Obsidian ladders. Oh, I need way less than 200. They're only 10. I was thinking they were 50. White. Why didn't white get made? Did I not make it? I guess not. Okay. So now we can go ahead and grab all 4 of these guys. Just like so. If they would quit changing the key bindings for the stone foundation, that would be great. What's this? Why don't I recognize that? Oh, it's railing. Okay. Great. There we go. Too close to enemy structure. I don't know exactly where it's at. There we go. Alright, so now we can test it out. So there's red. And red has that red glow. So let's check. Number 2. Green. Green has the red glow. Great. Blue. Blue has that blue glow. Or green has that. I said green has that green, right? I don't know. Alright, so that all looks good. So I think we are done here. Just a couple side notes. Make sure that your... Actually, man, don't let me tell you wrong. Yes, make sure that your game data override is set to the mod that you are using. That may be the only additional data that I need to tell you. Yeah, I think that's about it. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other ideas or anything you would like to make, just let me know. And if you need or help making like the configurable INI files, like how these right here, I can configure them to drop certain gear or certain quality gear using a variable inside of the game user settings INI. If you need help with that, just let me know. If you need help with dinosaurs or anything like that, I will be making future mods on how to do all, or future tutorials on how to do all of that. So just let me know what you guys need and I'll make it. Have a good one.